Hey, hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome into Flying with Mike. My apologies again. Last time you'll hear them for having to call off yesterday's stream. Just a lot going on, a lot to deal with. Even more came in afterwards, and still dealing with a lot, but we'll get through and get this flight in today. Today, we're flying for Pan Am Virtual um, in their TWA fleet. So, I know that's kind of an odd combination considering the two hated each other, but hey, why not? So, we're in TWA 767 headed from Tampa to JFK. So, I hope you enjoy today. It's going to also be an interesting run. Um, because if you own Flight Factor, you're up to date with the flight sim, and you try firing up the 767 latest version, which is 1.9. Hang on, I've got it written down here. 1.6.9, and it might be point 0.1. I don't remember if that was on the end or not. But if you're flying that version, folks, well, it doesn't matter which version, actually, I found out. You're going to get a message that comes up in the beginning. This version is not supported under this version of X-Plane. That's a real good message. That is from what I'm gathering from the Flight Factor. And folks, this is me speaking, not official word from Flight Factor. They're not up to date with the latest and greatest X-Plane version out there. They're not running the betas. They're only doing the releases that come out for public. Even though the public can get the betas and run them, they're not. They're waiting, so that way what they fix and what they make compatible, again, my words, not their words, in any shape or form, that way the least of having to fix it as they go along. Hey, I get it. Makes perfect sense if that is indeed what's going on. So, however, people have chimed in and says it still flies. So we're going to see if it really does fly. I got it to come up this far. I actually got it into just about ready to power up last night when all of that was going on and other things starting to come into life and all. So today is going to actually be the first flight. We, my friends, for us here at Flying with Mike, all together, we're the guinea pigs for this. So without further ado, hopsy up, welcome in. And thank you. Yes, it's great to be back on stream. Um, and what a stream to come back into, wouldn't you say? Well, we may or may not fly this. All right, so let's clear off the bottom, and you know what? Let's kind of zoom in on it. I've got a lot of the stuff up on it, folks. We basically have the fuel truck, as you can see. It's in gate configuration, so we can be at the gate. Got the loaders hooked up into the baggage areas, and we're on the ACU, which is the air conditioner, and the GPU, which is the ground power. So let's go on up in the cockpit and see what kind of damage this airplane's we're going to do to the airplane. What kind of a great flight we're going to have. But yeah, this ought to be fun, folks. Honest, true test flight today. I've actually not seen that message. Now, I've yesterday I did fly a flight off streaming and YouTube. And I'm glad I did because it took 3 tries to get it to taxi. More on that later on when we get into the flights for that. So, but yeah, some test flying, some getting back into saddle on it, and all of that good stuff. We'll present all of that at the appropriate time. So, But yeah, it was a trying day outside of flight simming as well. Here we go. Insuik 68, welcome aboard, sir. Evening time in your place, about noon time here in St. Louis. So, all right, so let's do it, shall we? And of course, you know, that weird guy behind, that loose nut behind the steering column here, well, he forgot his checklist. So stand by while I go get it. All right, we got it now. You all thought I was going to have to go back down to operations and get it. Told ya, got it. All right, so we do have the aircraft hooked up, ready to board. The only thing we have left to do is pull up the EFB here. Now you can pull it from here or down by the pilot's knee. I'll show you here in just a second. We're going to pull up the ground. The first thing I always do is 0 and 0 those out. So, and before we really get into this plane, you know what we're going to do? Let's bring in Sim Toolkit. And we have been having some latency. This is not related to that. There we go. There it is. It's not too bad. All right, so there we go, folks. You can kind of see the route working its way up the east coast of the United States. All right. JFK has an ATIS. We'll get to that in a minute. But Tampa, beautiful day down here. Winds are 220 at 8, 10 miles of visibility at a brisk 28 degrees outside, and altimeter of 30.03. And by the way, folks, that's about 90-ish degrees. Yeah, it's a little on the warm side, but that's okay. You know, it's Florida. What do you expect? What people go down there for. So, our run to JFK, METAR-wise, winds there also 240-ish, 12, little breezy, 10 miles of visibility and no ceiling, so we got a beautiful flight ahead of us. Altimeter is a lot lower in that direction. You can tell we got a storm system moving their way. So we'll see how things progress. And for the loadout today, 159 peeps coming aboard, signed their NDAs that they're not going to accuse me of anything if I don't fly it properly, and 38,980 pounds in the cargo. Fuel folks are putting 35,000 pounds of fuel on, and we're going to go with a cruise cost index of 241 at flight level 390. All right, all the NDAs are signed, so we are cleared for takeoff. Yeah, real pilots go, wish we could do that. All right, so here we go, folks. So we're going to begin to load this plane. Now, I said you could get it from up here in the menu under plugins. You can also look down here, and there it is by the pilot's knees. You just have to click ground. All right, we'll get a better look here. All right, so we are leaving out of here. Gotta move this to where I can see better. We're gonna go with 159 peeps. Okay, so 159. All right, so what do I do here with cargo? Now, we technically do not have cargo on, but we do have baggage. However, looking at that number, I'm going to have to get in there and find out why our weights are way off, because they are way off. We're supposed to have a zero fuel weight of 234,580. we're 1,000 pounds over that. So you know what? We're going to leave it as is. We're going to go ahead, though, put on the 35,088 pounds of go-go juice. Okay, now you see the Mac here is red. Let's optimize it. And now it's set to go. Let's also perform maintenance. I love how optimizing to CG means squish them all forward. Did you notice that, folks? I just find that funny. Squish them all forward. Oh well. Okay, let's go ahead and load. All right, now while the plane is loading, that is our cue to start in. So we got the maintenance going. Okay, so parking brake is set. Batteries and standby power, external power, bus ties, utility bus, gen connects, all taken care of because we have power. But what does that look like? Simple. Okay, you'll have a guard here to lift. This is your battery. Standby power is at auto. Now you have to assign or turn on the GPU in the EFB. Again, plugins or left knee or left leg. Okay, then your bus ties, click on them, click on your utility bus, click on the outer switches that say R and left gen connects. If you open these up and click there, you just disconnected them completely from the engine and maintenance would have to be performed. Okay, that's what we had to go through. Emergency lights on. Window heats, we'll go ahead and turn them on. And let's get our EECs on. Now, if you open up the glass, folks, I recommend closing them again. That way you don't accidentally click on them, disengaging them. Okay. See the difference in color, hopefully. All right, and then we'll go ahead and get our electric hydraulics on and turn our signs on. Okay, we are just about ready to get underway. I'm going to go ahead and put this to 2. It's an even numbered day, so I run even numbered. Okay, let's get into getting the aircraft ready to go. So first thing I do is take this display selector and put it to heading, which is actually heading and status. So when you go to align, should get the on DC. That's telling you this will work on your battery. If you lose those generators in flight, both engines and APU, it'll still work on battery. When it goes to align, click them to nav. Leave your yaw dampers off for now. Don't need them while you're in this process. Now, let's drop down. And with those aligning, we'll bring up the FMC and let's get it started here. Okay, there's your model version 1.6.9. Just realize when you load it up, if you have 0.05 in X-plane, you're going to get the message I told you. This RNAC 2304, valid April 20 to May 18. Guess what, folks? 2 days, it'll be updating. Now, for the position, KTPA. Now, putting that in here, you could put the gate. My problem is the gate that's in the charts programming may be different than how it is in the aircraft. So that's why I just go with the GPS airport on these. And then I click route. There's TPA. KJ KJFK. And we're in TWA 108. I think we're finished loading, so that's cool. We can just go right on down the line, get her all set up. Now, I have not put the route in here at all as a company route. So we are going to put it in ourselves. And folks, it's not hard. Next page. Okay, so we're going to skip the, here, let me put that over here. YouTube's, sorry, I don't think this is scrolling with you, but for those with the stream can see it. You're more than welcome to join us on stream. Drop down to where you see the different ways you can get in contact with us via Twitch, Discord, and so forth. Click that Twitch link. Look in the About area. It'll tell you when we're live. Hey, feel free to come aboard. Welcome in. Let us know you're here. Love to meet and greet you here. All right, so we are running from CAMJO. And you're all going, why didn't you put the departure in? You're more than welcome to do it your way, folks. This is just the way I've always done it. You're the pilot in command. How you feel it needs to go in is how it needs to go. Wait a minute, let me make sure nothing changed. No, DFENC. Because I thought that wasn't one of them. Now I know where it was. I saw that come up somewhere else, and I don't remember where. May 58 be better on your memory than mine. ED. Okay, and then that'll put us on to Q97. And we got a lot of directs. I didn't realize that. I saw it as Q97. Closing that at DLAAY. AAY. Then we're going to RADDS. That'll be RADDS. Next page to catch the last fix, which is SIE. Don't you love when these kinds of things come up? All right. So how we deconflict this is very simple, folks. Only hard part is finding it. SIE is sea isle. It's 114.8 and its coordinates are 39.5 74 074 47 48 because yeah, but it's this one right here. All right, and then we can actually, well, we're not aligned yet. So let's activate, execute. Now, I could say that, and I'll show you why. Go. Let's go back up top here. We still have 2 minutes to go on the alignment. If it's not putting it up on your nav display, folks, move that switch like I did to heading here or heading status, as Boeing says in the ZBO. And it's going to tell you your minutes to alignment. Starts usually between 7 and 10 and counts down. I know the PMDG 777 and FSX 7, well, I don't know about the 74. I think it did. And the LDS all put it on the nav display, but I didn't know this trick that you could do up there. Matter of fact, I never touched that switch after the alignment. Even before I didn't even know that you could do that. That was awesome when I learned it. So, anyway, back down to here. So we can't really do a good plan check yet, but what we can do is go ahead and get our star in, or SID. Okay. And what I'm going to do here to help out is bring up charts. All right. So we have charts up here. Let me just hide that. Well, actually, no. This is charts, the latest and greatest 8, and then whatever updates gone through since it came out late last year. Actually, if my memory is somewhat still in place, late last year, very close to the end of the year. So what we can do here is we know from our route here, we're going to be on 19 right. So our departure runway is right here. We're parked right there. We help that out. So you can see our taxi is very easy. It's either Victor or Whiskey. Up here to the end, grab the runway and go. Pretty simple stuff. Okay. Here is our departure. Oh, wait a minute. Let me back up one step. Now, this program, if you just put in the route from CAMJO to SIE, that's all it'll show. Once you start and you're ready to pick what departure, you can actually do that from within here, as we're going to do with the runway. We're going to select 19 right. So when we look at it, we come off and we're going to vector ourselves basically up here to Finke probably and right on. However, once we select our approach into JFK, because look, you can select all of these, and here they are up there, folks. 4-4. Right now we're looking at 2-2 left. So there's all of what we can do for 2-2 left. Norton, all the way around for the ILS, or we can do this RNAVs. You know, you get the point. There's a lot here, and it's showing you them all. And then you just pick the one you're going to use. And that's 3-1. Hey, are we getting 3-1? Right now, I'm not yet. Should be filtered for runway 22, and it's not. That's weird. Well, that's what it's showing, but I don't know why these are highlighted. But anyway, that's the cool part of this thing, folks. And then you just click there to get back down to Tampa. All right, so let's pull up our departure. See, it's a vector. Kind of figured that's what it was. So from 19 right, we'll climb 187 to 50, then 203. So we're banking away from the runway. Or if ATC tells us something different, and then we're going to be vectored to Finke, Bapo, maintain 6,000. So 6,000 is our top altitude, and then we'll get clearance from there. Clearance from Clarence the rest of the way up. So we are flying the Bapo 1. First thing, select your runway. Then the Bay, because what it does is it narrows this down to those only valid for that runway. Bapo, CAMJO, execute, done. And it's aligned. So bear with me a second here. I'm going to go one more click. And over to here. And let me see what we can do here. Yeah, we can work with that. Okay, we'll just kind of, because all we're going to be doing, folks, is closing out discontinuities and checking the continuity of the route. We set at, even on plan? Okay. I guess we are because it says step. All right, so we're going to 540. There's our vectors on 203 heading to Finky. Not Hinky, Finky. For Scooby-Doo fans. Baypo, eat cake. And as you can see, you can follow along on the charting over here. Then we're going to go to Willen, Spring, CAMJO. Eat cake. CAMJO. All right, let's get rid of it. See how far along the route we are already. All right, and then we'll just work our way up. I did it the wrong way. Hang on. Let's see. Pandy, Bravo, Sisu, Uma. That takes us to here. Okay. Yurgic, Lana, Tink, Defnik, Sod. And we're just about to SIE. From there, it's a straight shot to JFK. All right. Pretty simple stuff, right, folks? Okay, that takes care of that. Now, the reason I'm not putting in anything beyond Cameron, actually, I can put the arrival in, but I'd like to kind of piece them together at the same time. So we've got 2 hours, folks, to get that figured out to see what JFK is going to be landing. Currently, it's 2-2 left, even on VATSIM, which those guys love to change it, although not in the New York area. About everywhere else, if they don't like the winds, they change it. And it gets annoying because when you take off from JFK to LAX, I can set my FMC up for what's forecasted there by their ATIS. And when they turn it and change it because they don't like it, makes it hard on pilots out here trying to be proactive for them. So, but they don't, that we'll get off that because I could go on a tangent in a heartbeat. So, all right, so that takes care of the legs portion here. So now we're going to come back to the route page. I'm going to do a route copy. Then I'm going to go to the perf init page. 35.8, and I think that is what we said, even though it wasn't supposed to be that way, but it ended up that way. Yeah, exactly what it did. Okay, the reserve for today. Hang on, I have to. Fortunately, this I can't really show. It's what you feel comfortable with, folks. What I do is I go to the fuel page of my OFP. Here, let me see if it'll work here. Let me pull charts out. Some toolkit back in. That'll work for the most part. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll go to the OFP. Now, this is the American Airlines format. So when you're filling this out in SimBrief, you'll see OFP layout. There's a drop down. This is a really good one, folks. Joining Virtual American put me on this, obviously, just like Piedmont put me on United 18's format, both of which I really liked. Some of the others get very tough to find what you're looking for. This one is really dynamite. Okay, so here's the fuel page. And again, you're going, well, I can't tell the page. Unfortunately, it kind of homogenizes together, so it's all like one page. Okay, so here's our release fuel we put in, 13.3, oh wait, correction, Our release is down here, 35.8. This is what we plan to land with. And then our burn. But here's where I go. First off, we need our 45-minute reserve. That's FAA minimums. That is so that you can land, either shoot the approach at JFK, go around on your prescribed missed approach procedure, hold. I forget the required time, but then make it to Boston, which is our alternate for today, and still have 45 minutes of fuel. You're all going, that's a lot of extra fuel. One thing you never, and not folks, being an airport firefighter, you know, we can claim, firefighters in general can claim, we've seen a lot of things you all will never see. One of them is, well, actually, one shift did get to go out on a plane that ran out of fuel. I almost got to go on one that was a huge cargo plane. And I'm not talking a 747. It almost ran out of fuel. Whole story behind that, I only tell it in the firehouse to the folks that understand it, but so you don't want to run out of fuel, folks. It's usually an ugly, very ugly. Thankfully, the one that the other shift went out on a few weeks ago, she landed safely on a road, walked away perfectly fine, but it's definitely something you don't want to talk about. So, but anyway, so what I do is I'll go in here and look at my reserve. Okay, so I got to have 5.5, period, end of discussion, no matter what. But remember, I got to get to my alternate. So it's 6.8. So that is 7.3 right there. Now, I could throw the reserve in. I'm not. This is my bare bones. If I hit 7.3 or 7,300 pounds of fuel, that's bingo. It's time to go to Boston, or it's time to land. And I've also built in some padding for en route hold for my holds, just in case. But 7.3 is my minimum. Okay, so we'll put that right there. 7.3. It's 7,300 pounds of fuel, folks. Ain't a lot of fuel when you think about these thirsty jet engines. Look up the CF6 and see how much fuel it burns. 39,000. Cost index was, is it 241? Stand by. It sure is. Just verifying everything. All right, now, oh, dang it. Put it in the wrong spot. Hang on. Hate when I do that. 390. All right, cruise winds today. I showed 275, 42. Step size, we'll put 2,000, but I doubt we'll even think about it. All right, next page is takeoff. For this, I'm going to use TopCat. Now, folks, this is a program. Oh, I got to move it. I forgot all about that, folks. Sorry. Sorry about that. Forgot to move it in the prelude to this. Oh, the TopCat's a payware program, folks. The Australians, it's a really good program. Built professional flight planner. This is all before SimBrief. Great flight planning tool, folks. Even still use it even to this day because it has performance data that SimBrief doesn't. And then but prior to PFPX, this program TopCat was out there. And if you read it, it tells you right there, right across the top, takeoff, landing, performance calculation tool. Their way of saying TopCat. Okay, so basically when you fill it out in PFPX now, which is Professional Flight Planner X, not for X-plane, actually it was more built for XFSX. Really very close to the numbers that the aircraft in FSX did. Prepared worked pretty good. I don't know how Microsoft, the new one, does. And it also worked well with the older ones. Anyway, TopCat, though, was the original. All it was is what you see here. You put in your flight number, your from, your to, all that other good stuff kind of populates on its own. Then you put your fuel and all in here, and your packs and all, get your zero fuel weight. So now when you're using with SimBrief, make this equal what your zero fuel weight is on your flight plan, and you're set to go. PFP will export it over. Okay. Then once you have this page set up, go to takeoff, and as you can tell, you can store aircraft in here. Click update, and you're gonna get your winds, your temperature, your altimeter setting, both HPA and inches of mercury. Set your runway, and then before you click update, decide how you want to get it. You can get it via IVO, VATSIM, Active Sky X. It's all supported there. Over here, set your airport and runway. Make sure it's correct. Tampa, get the right runway. We're on 19 right. There's all of your runway characteristics. It's 11,000 feet. It's 150 wild, 187, down 1. All of these things, if you take the time, can be manipulated into this program. Okay. So we are now on, just looking to make sure how things look. Okay. So let's click, come down here, make sure your gross weight for takeoff is approximate. It can connect to your sims, folks, and be very doggone close. Configure your flaps, thrust, all of that good stuff. Okay. Decide if you're going to run with anti-ice, air conditioning, the whole 9 yards. Click calculate. A couple seconds later, it spits it out. Now, those of you that were with our Saturday flight, yeah, we did a special flight on Saturday. We talked a little bit about the select temperature that you're going to put in where it says thrust, then you got a degree C, TO. This is derating the engine. Now, I know, I'm pretty sure I heard a couple engineers out there going, cannot take an engine above 100%. 100% is max. Folks, if I run at full takeoff power, I'm at 108% on that engine. That's right, it's running more than 100%. In this case, you're pushing that engine, well, rightly so, to get you in the air. You got it, you know, the theory of aerodynamics, folks, is a very simple theory. Put enough thrust behind a brick and a brick will fly. That's pretty simple layman's term for aerodynamic theory. So if I put 108% power behind a brick, it will fly. Compliments, that's how a C5 flies, folks. If you don't know what a C5 is, look it up. Wikipedia will show you really neat pictures of them. But anyway, so let's take a look at this, shall we? First thing I'll do is go to the CG button, click it. May or may not match up to what we're showing here. It's not far off, but it's still significant. They're showing us to do a 71 degree TO flap 5. Now I have it set for TO because I really don't know how to get this to take off 1, take off 2. So I just make it go to TO. All right, and there we're going to be using 99% of the power the engines can develop. Right there is a 10% reduction in power, folks. That's 10% reduction in wear and tear on multi-million-dollar engines. Want to save those as much as you can in between the major maintenances. They're very expensive, obviously, and very, very important if you want your passengers to arrive alive. So we try to save them as much as possible. Granted, we can't pull them back to 10% power for takeoff. Just will not get the plane in the air. Or the runway won't be long enough. It would take, I don't even want to know how long. I know you engineers have got it in your head already. But it saves the little bits of wear and tear of that engine and the maintenance that goes in behind it. That's the name of the game. And saves a little bit on fuel, which saves a little bit for the airline to make a little bit on that cheap ticket you're on. Remember, you're not flying at what you should be. You're flying at a rate they know they can fill the seat at. And they still got to pay pilots. They got to pay their flight attendants, maintenance, ticket people, all of their personnel on your ticket. A little fraction of that goes to all of them. All right, so let's go to page 2, which most of you do not go to. Wind. Folks, that's the simplest thing in the world to get. And it helps factor a more accurate numbers here. Slope. Remember we said, oh look, we have that here. And yes, it is modeled in this. Now in the past, you're right, it used to not be modeled. It is now. And I do believe the new Microsoft one does too. Your reference outside temperature you can get from here, 28 degrees, or from here, 28 degrees. And then next page back. All you got to do is stick in your thrust you want to use, and it's telling you how much runway is going to be left. Now, had we gone to TO2, this number would probably be in half. But like I said, I don't know how to do that, so we're going to just go 71, and it won't take it. Let's try 68. Don't think it'll take, oh, it did, okay. So 68 degrees. We're on this one here, and we're going to go flaps 5. You're going, but it didn't read it out. Reference speed select on. There they are. And they're off by not much here, but the V1 is. So what I'm going to do is set it to 131. Going to set rotate at 135. And we'll keep 141 for V2. And then you can turn them off and you don't have to see them. And the gross weight, if you notice, is a little heavier than what we're showing here. So that's probably why. Oh, now let's try it. That's a lot closer. Look at that. Not bad, huh, folks? Again, just about 10%, actually a little over 10, oh, a little under 10%. See what I mean? Not a bad little program, is it? And that's why I say it's worth my refund or my payment every year to keep the both subscribed, so I get the weather and all included in these things. So Just thought you'd all like to see that. All right. So again, take the time. Go to this next page. It's not hard to fill out. 22088. That was simple. This is filled out for you. D for down, U for up, 0.1. 28, boom. 2.6. That's all there was to it, folks. Hopefully I see a few more streams out there of y'all actually now. Hey, we got a tool for the Boeing aircraft. Airbus has a really good one too, but now the aircraft are coming with that ability to utilize the FMC, or the McDo in this case, to populate that. So it's a whole different world out there. So, all right, so let's finish up this checklist, shall we? We'll be back to this in a moment. Oop, let's go up to that one. All right, so left and right yaw dampers, we can. I am going to go ahead and just click down till we get to where we need to be. Look, there's your... Now I know the world is safe with some of y'all. You're going, oh my gosh, there's the coordinates. Okay, the IRS is right. No, the IRS is never right. The inertial navigation system is, but the Internal Revenue System is never right. And for those of you in Europe, you have no idea what I just said. I get it. It's our tax people. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so we'll keep those off till we're ready for flight. EECs are normal. We got our hydraulics, electrics on, demands on. There's what's still open on the plane. We can actually start buttoning this thing up. So why don't we start doing that? So first, let's close those doors, go back to ops. We're done fueling. We're done with the LSU. And for now, that's all we can do till we start that APU. All right, so we left off coming straight down with our electrics, making sure everything's good. Cockpit lighting's good. The outside lights are off. Okay, we got the cargo heat we can now activate. Emergency lights are armed. We're on 2. Fuel pumps off for the moment. Okay, and I heard the beep, beep, beep. Coming on down, there's our fuel allocation. Wipers are off, lights are set. Window heats are on, cabin signs going on. Altitude, 13 feet is JFK. We'll go with 20. 10, I guess, would probably be closer, but you know what, we'll set it. What the heck. Okay, so for engine start and which pressure system do we use? Okay, same thing I do, even day, even number. So we're on 2, we're on auto 2. Got our lights on. Okay, our trim air and the recircs are on. The cabin temp is set to auto. Currently I have the packs on. They don't have to be, but I have them on. And all of our isolation and valves are open. Cool. We're ready to go. How about that? Let us first crank the APU. And that's something we can watch right here, folks. When the RPM, which is the middle number here, third row, reaches 100%, it's ready to go. Almost there, folks. Feel like I'm missing some things on this panel. Just don't know what. Even the APU can run more than 100%. You guys were paying attention. Okay, so now, unlike many of the Airbus type, you have to actually put the generator online. Airbus does it for you, so does the MD-11, because it is more Airbus-like than Boeing-like, which is weird. And we can come off the gen for the external power, and you saw the flickering. APU bleed. Here comes the pressure. And ACU, GPU. Leaving the chocks for now. Finishing things up, we'll go ahead and turn all the fuel pumps on. I really love this about the 7675s. Putting that right there tells you, okay, I'm low on this side, high on this side, and what I need to do to balance it. Very complicated on Airbus and the 737, and actually 777s and 744s. 742, it's a big panel and all the numbers are right there, so it makes it a little easy too. All right, so we're ready to go, folks. All doors, let's make sure we get them closed. Just so he doesn't yell at me. Okay, so please try not to mind that in the background. It just is an annoying ding that we hear if we don't do it before we back out. All right, let's get the ACARS program running for this, for Pan Am. And I think it's this one. That's not that one. How about we search? There it is. Look. There we go. We're ready to go, folks. Yeah, I should have parked over one. Sorry about that, folks. Didn't realize that it actually did both. All right, so final checks. Takeoff speed. Actually, let's do it this way. Takeoff is 141. Go 151. Flight director's on. He said runway heading is 187. And we said 6,000 initially. Okay, just check to see if ATC is online. I don't like if I accidentally forget and they are when I'm airborne. Okay, we're good to go.
Your seat bottom cushion can be used as a flotation device. Pull the cushion from the seat, slip your arms into the straps, and hug the cushion to your chest.
And we are a 6-3.
CD players, laptop computers may be used when the seatbelt sign is off, or when permitted by the crew. Mobile telephones, remote control toys, or any electronic devices operating with an antenna must be turned on at all times.
All right, folks, we are ready for pushback.
Disabling or destroying the smoke detectors installed in the lavatories is prohibited by law. You will find this and all the other safety information in the card located in the seat pocket in front of you.
Okay, let's call better pushback.
If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask one of our crew members.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go. Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go. Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go. Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go. Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go. Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go. Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go. Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go. Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go. Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go. Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go. Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go. Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go. Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go. Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go. Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go. Ground to cockpit. Please show
Grounded cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Okay. Once I see the tug, we'll put the beacon on. There it is. Beacon. Pull the chocks. Okay, everything's closed. Beacon's on. We're ready to go.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Okay, pushback's pretty simple. You're seeing that going on. In order to start this beast, the big thing is, of course, make sure fuel tanks are on. Packs have to be off, just like most aircraft except those that I've flown with Airbuses. Just about every plane either automatically turns them off or they're turned off manually by you. And then you'll be able to crank. In this case, we're going to go engine number 2 first, then engine number 1. Just waiting on her.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Brakes off.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Okay. I'm going to wait till we push just a little bit out of the gate box here so we don't ingest or push back anything into our path. Okay, let's go ahead. And the other thing is with this, it does go really fast. So what we're going to do, folks, we'll move it number 2, start the ground, and then it's going to build up. Once the line reaches the magenta line, give it fuel. Fuel is located right here. Okay, so it's right below the throttles. Takeoff config, good. Here we go. I'm going to leave the ECAS 2 up. Here's the engine starts, go to auto, then ground. See how it's already building? And that's pretty fast. Actually, they've slowed it down a little. It's a little slower than it was. Boy, I could get down here and it's already into the 20s. And on with the fuel. That's how simple it is, folks. It's really not meant to be a very complicated process, but unlike the 737, the engine generators kick on automatically. And these pop out. This is one of those things I really wish a lot of planes did. Okay, and we're just about stable.
Operation complete. Go ahead and set the parking brake.
Okay.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Engines appear stable, so we're going to do exactly the same thing. 1, 2, to the left. Watching the line till it gets to the magenta, and then we'll punch it up. And there comes the fuel. One thing I did not do here, folks. Make sure this is lit up. If it's not, you're not gonna hear much. Yeah. Okay, so we should. And make sure your TX and RX are set. That they're darker blue, darker than the blue you see in the background of them. Okay. All right, so we got both engines running. We'll release her. Yeah, make sure. Otherwise, they won't hear you, folks. It's one of those things with flight factor and the one other plane. I think it's the MD-11, but I could be wrong. Oh, is it a pain? But once
Tow
you
is
get,
disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
but like I was getting ready to say, once you get used to it, it's not a hard thing to keep in mind. All right, after start checks. Hydraulic pumps, let's get up top here. Okay, so we want the engine pumps now on. Anti-ice, we're not going to turn on. Left and right engine bleeds on. Packs back on. APU bleed off. APU APU first. But again, make sure the aircraft is on and you don't see any warnings. Off. Sometimes you have to recycle these to get things to be where they need to be. That's what I saw these red lights up here. I said, and there. So we recycled it. All right, so we are ready to go. As the title says, well, actually it doesn't say so. The real quick here, folks, if you're flying flight factor in the new X-Plane 12 and it's version 0.05, you can find that in the log right there in the main X-Plane folder. Right on the top line tells you what your version is. However, I can tell you real quick how you're going to know until a new version of this comes out. It's going to say this plane is something to the order of this plane is not supported by this version of the X-Plane. We're still going. We haven't gotten into the air yet, but we're still going. All right, so take taxi checks, reject takeoff. Taxi lights, VORs are set. Flight directors set. MCP is set. Stab trim. We need to go to 2.4. Okay. Flaps 5. Speed breakdown. EFIS control. EFIS is this panel here, here, and here. Okay, our decision altitude is at the top, so 200 coming down. Next one. Range 20. Set. Okay, we got it set to 40. I think that'll be fine. Then we've got mode is map on both. Okay, and finally terrain and weather off. So these two buttons stay off for now. Okay, speaking of weather radar, let's come down here. Let's go to weather only. And then we're going to check our flight controls. So to do that, click status right here. And then Now, if I had the yaw dampers on, this could be a tough check, the rudder. That's why I recommend keeping it off. Right, and then we'll just do a quick freedom of movement check. Okay, so we're ready to taxi, and we'll do the remaining checks as we go. Brakes off, lights. There we go. I was going to say, well, looks like that flight just ended because we aren't moving. So far, so good. Proof will be in the pudding, folks, when we try to take off. All right, folks. Well, it's been about an hour since we fired this stream up, and I want to say again, thank you for supporting the stream, being a part of Flying with Mike today. If you're new to the stream, I would love for you to click that follow button. The only cost to you is, well, it's going to tell you in an email, hey, Flying with Mike is going live. Beyond that, that's all that's out of your pocket. And wait a minute, that it wasn't anything out of your pocket, much like the stuff in X-Plane. It's pretty much free. If you're watching this down the road when it comes to YouTube, hey, I'd love for you to click subscribe and ring that bell. See, that way you can find out when other videos are being released. Basically, what I try to do, folks, if I fly it here on live stream, a few days down the road, maybe a week or two at the most, it comes over to YouTube. So if you want to see it live, be a part of the chat here, be a part, hey, I'd love for you to just in that YouTube feed, go down, click Twitch, look for the About tab, and check out the flight schedule. If it matches with when you're available, we'd love to have you aboard. Got a seat for you in the back right now. And we got Frontier on final. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start working those last checks here, folks. All right, last checks here before takeoff. Let's see. Go to radar and terrain. So we'll go terrain on this one. Radar on that one. Get the MCP set. And then finally, auto throttle set and VNAV RNAV. Actually, what we're going to do is set 203 for the departure, and let's see. Tampa traffic, TWA 108 heavy, lining up and waiting, runway 19 right.
Tampa traffic 4736, runway located, have a good flight.
Thank you, Frontier. And Tampa, TWA 108 heavy, departing 19 right. Okay. Let's get our lights on. Timer set. Here we go. Now what I'll do is take it up to the top of the arc here. Real easy for the lines to meet up. When they do, we're stable. Toga is this little screw right here. Toga. Down the runway we go. Show you another little click spot on here in a second. Well, once we clear 18,000. Airspeed's alive. All right, 100. Rotate.
Don't sink.
Okay, we got positive rate gears coming up. Here we go outside to look at it. We're on our way, folks. Aircraft is now going into gonna climb, again, we're trying to save, see how the magenta arrows right here, folks, moved down from when it was a climb, which was somewhere right in here, I think it was. Again, it's all in that effort to save those mighty engines. All right, so out we go, and I'm going to go ahead. Flaps start to come up. Let's go flaps up. And then lastly, now we're going direct Finky. Not hanky, as Velma would say in Scooby-Doo, but we're making that turn now. All right, and we blew right through. No, we didn't. Okay, the good thing is we got the timer going, so technically 10 minutes, folks, and then we can start our climb.
703 Delta Lima, taxi from shelter to runway 19 left.
All right, we are initiating our climb. Direct Finke. Apo, E-Cake, Willen. Sprig. And we are climbing to flight level 390. Granted, only 5 minutes, but the nice thing of no ATC, kind of at your own discretion. Now, one thing to understand about this climb, once that pressure here on N1 reaches the same as climb 1, it'll move itself into climb 1. Same when it reaches what the engine power needed for climb, it'll translate over to climb. There's a word for it. I can't think of it right now. Sorry, folks. But if you watch it, it'll switch to climb 1. It may skip and go right to climb. Usually it's around 12 to 16 and then up around 20. So we'll see how that translates out. We're about to cross 10,000, so we'll get ready to turn off the lights. All right, there's 10,000. Lights are coming off. And away we go, folks. All right, so we're building speed up now to around 320, a little bit higher, as well as still climbing at somewhat of a rate. As we head up the eastern side, or western side of Florida, to the eastern seaboard of the U.S., as soon as we get through Florida, and then we'll work our way into good old JFK. So I hope y'all have had a great day, great week so far. We're almost to the middle, folks. Almost. Hump day is tomorrow. We make it over the hump and slide into the weekend. All right, there we go up the eastern or western side of Florida. We'll be making our arc here momentarily. Actually, a little bit of a ways. CAMJO will be more into the middle of the state, starting our ease over to the right up the Atlantic side and into everybody's favorite place, not the Big Apple. Not mine. I will say better than Chicago, but not by much. All right, let's see how we're doing on this climb. All right, we have crossed 18,000, so we need to set our standard. And what I want to do is make sure we have this ECAM available. Let's set 2992 here. It didn't go far enough. All right. Okay, that's not the standard pressure, but let's go ahead and bring it up. Okay, it went away. When you get that message here, folks, altitude disagree, and it will, because it's this altimeter is not matching the first officers, and instead of having to change screens and all of that, all you have to do is click this, head over there, and you'll see it's 2992. It'll change, making it very easy when you're in a high intense area. Now the real guys, of course, they're really setting them because there's a guy sitting there in front that can do it. Here there isn't, so you're doing the job of two people in one seat. Also note the ECAM, now climb 1. So whatever that pressure reading up here for N1 is for climb, when it reaches it around 20 to 25,000, it'll say climb. So we're progressing, and so far, as somebody mentioned over in Flight Factor, the aircraft is flyable. So far. Let's see once we get to our destination if we don't have problems. So while we're climbing out, folks, we're going to go ahead and just kind of kick on some music, let you all relax. I'm not sure, hoping your weeks are going well for each of you out there, but if not, give you something to sit back and relax to. One other thing before I leave you, X-Plane is released information on what to look for in the future with the releases of beta folks especially. 0.06 is going to see some work on the clouds, the introduction of cirrus clouds, instead of the normal clouds that we have up at altitude that are, well, not horrible, it's just, you just don't see that thick of a cloud that high up except for thunderstorms. In my opinion. I could be way wrong, folks. My little Cessna could not get above, well, I got it to 12,000 feet once before it stalled, which was the ceiling for that aircraft. I was just curious. So, again, I don't know for real what they look like at altitude, so don't really pay attention when I'm traveling. But anyway, that's something to look forward to. And those pyramiding clouds that we love, love to make fun of, they're looking to address them as well. So we'll kind of see what's coming, folks. It's a shame all of that couldn't be now when it's severe weather season out in Tornado Alley here of the United States. To see if those cumulus clouds become really cumulus clouds and really look good. However, hurricane season is coming, and maybe that'll all come together with those storms. So, but anyway, just some food for thought of what is ahead. So for now, let's go ahead and just kind of sit back, relax. I'm here watching the chat and enjoy the ride. All right, folks, back with you. It looks like about an hour and 30 minutes we'll be up in the JFK area. So hope you enjoy. Feel free to chat away in the chat room there. Love to hear you, or at least see what's on your mind this Tuesday. What you have going on this week, and hopefully just allow you just some time to decompress, relax, enjoy listening into some of the music here, and enjoying the stream itself and those who are here. So, on with the flight. All right, folks, we're back with you. Thought we'd let you just hang there for, ooh, I don't know how long have we been gone. A little under an hour. Hope you enjoyed the music. You know, this song here kind of reminds me of The Dark Knight. I always say that when it comes on. Probably has nothing in that song. It just kind of reminds me of it. But anyway, let's get into setting up for the arrival into JFK. What do you think? All right, so that means we need... Let's go with charts. I was thinking about maybe doing this on Sim Toolkit, but you know what? I think charts, just because it's such a smaller interface on the screen, will go with it. And let's get the FMC up. And for the time being, we'll get rid of XPilot. All right. Okay, so as you can tell here on charts, let me try something here for the moment. All right, so you get a little bigger screen. We're going to come back to flights here in just a second. So you can get an idea where we are. We're coming up to Tank. Actually, no, we should be Lana. Oh, we're making the turn, that's why. Durr. Okay, yeah, we're turning here at Lana, headed to Tank, then Defnick, then Sod, I think it was, and then getting closer to Sea Island. Let me try that again. Sea Isle. S-I-E-V-O-R. All right, now I mentioned this earlier, how Charts 8 can help you in planning your flight. You can just put in from CAMJO here on our flight to SIE, and you're really good to go. But now, what SID, what star matches up without looking at SimBrief or other products? Well, we know now Baypo and Cameron, sorry, are 4, RR2, a SID up here, star down here. So now, what approach? All right, what approach indeed? Well, one program you can use out there, folks, and I mentioned this in the beginning. I didn't mention the site, but I mentioned the pitfalls that come with VATSIM and the real world. And it shouldn't be, but it is. And that's because some of these controllers aren't really controlling, but assisting other streamers get out of an area more efficiently. We'll use it as that word. And to heck with real world operations. Because that's what VATSIM claims, as close to real as it can get. So if you go to this website, folks, datus.cloud.io. Click on it, upper right-hand corner, you'll see new facility. Click there. Look for JFK. That is the real-world ATIS in play at JFK. Not some VATSIM controller who really just wants to put the runway what he's comfortable with instead of what really is, because there's a lot of factors in the JFK New York City area that specify active runways. You've got LaGuardia 10-20 miles north and west of it, Newark 30 miles 40 miles west of it as well, plus other airports east of it that all have to be choreographed to get them in. And that's why your active runways are what they are sometimes. And sometimes the winds are like, what the heck are they doing bringing us in on such a tailwind? You, the pilot, can then say, we can't do that. And then the fun begins, because then they switch it there. But the general should be the general knowledge should be what's going on in the real world. And I really hate when VATSIM controllers take it upon themselves to change. Because say you take off from JFK. Let's just say headed to San Francisco or LAX. That's a 5-hour haul. Well, I can pull up this site. I now got a general feel for what the runways are at this point. Let's say I get over Denver. Technically not able to pick up their ATIS from there, but with this site I am. Real world. Real world pilots are setting these FMCs up there so they can progress in and be ahead of the game, what's called proactive in helping them out with the amount of traffic that's there. Now it's you, the pilot's job, to actually follow the charts. Great video out there on YouTube, New York approach, JetBlue. You want to hear a hell of a banter, go find that one on what speed you're supposed to maintain. Really, it was pretty good. Don't expect fireworks, but expect offensiveness. We'll say it that way. All right, so we're coming in. The METAR, I'll just go ahead and put that out currently. KJFK is 190 at 1110 miles of visibility. We do now have a ceiling. We did not have one when we took off, but it's at 25,000 feet. Ooh, that one really hurts, folks. I think that might be below my minimums. But anyway, 22 degrees and 7 degrees for the dew point. Altimeter has dropped even more. It was 2980 on takeoff. It's now down to 70. Wind shift coming 170, so it's why they didn't put a variable. So yeah, we're gonna have some fun on this arrival. Still, 2-2s are in use. 2-2 left, and if you pulled up the ATIS, folks, you would have found out, as I'm going to right here, ATIS. New York City, let's see, JFK. Okay, so the ILS for runway 221 or 22 left, 22 right are in use. Departing 22 right. So technically we're landing either runway, but we're taking off on the closer runway to the terminals, which is, I think, the longer of the two. And then if you're filed over Robbinsville or Dixie, expect 3-1. Okay, 1-3 ALS out of service. You got the rest of this if you went to that cloud site. Really good planning information there. So we're going for 22 left or right. Okay, pretty simple stuff. So let's take a look at the airport real quick. 22 left is 8,400 feet. 22 right is 12,000 feet. Now you see why they're departing on the right, landing both. I prefer to land with approach lights, so we'll go with 22 left. And it's 8,400 feet, plenty for us, as long as we manage our speed. All right. Now, let's use this program. So we'll go to JFK. Approaches available, they're 30, so let's select. Actually, I am going to put in here 22 left. That should make those be the ones. No, it's not. Okay, so we're coming in on the ILS. Now I have Norton. What else we have? I don't know which transition this one is. We also have DPK, and these are all the different approaches for runway 22 left. So we'll go Norton, just because, why not? And it's a nice, brings us right around onto it. You know, it's literally like an RNAV. I mean, when you get right down to it. So we'll start at Norton. Well, let's take a look at the chart, shall we? Okay, there's symbol. DPK is there. Tracking in, we'll head for Rossley if you were doing that. You could also do Norton and symbol. We saw those. Go ahead and hide this now. All right, and the other neat thing, if there's Cat 2, Cat 3, it'll pull those up as well. Let's not get ahead of the horse yet. Okay, Cameron is very simple. From Sea Isle, we just follow the line to Karis, and that is a 049 run. This, folks, can be flown without RNAV. Because once you get to Karis, you pick up the 221 radial off of Deer Park and track that way, and then we start a more RNAV approach. So pretty simple. Up here tells you everything. Your ATIS, which is D-ATIS. Okay. 18,000 is our transition, and then again our routing is Sea Isle, Auten, Hogs, Pansy, Karis, Cameron. Cameron, expect to be at 11,250, not 240, at 250. That's what that video is all about. Hogs, expect 18,000. So we'll make sure our load up is good there. Matter of fact, let's do that real quick. Departure. JFK arrivals, Cameron. 22 left, Norton, accept. All right. So there's SIE, there's Botten, there's Hogs. That's 18,000, remember? There's Pansy, Karis, Cameron is 11,000. Correction, let's do it right. 250 at 11,000. Boom. Now, wait a minute. Try making sure we got it right here. It didn't look like it was. 1, 1, 2, 3. There we go. All right, Norton. Of course, this could all change, folks. We may get vectored. Right now, we're planning Norton. Okay, so we got that in there. Now, let's go to our ILS. Let's do this in 3 parts. Okay, frequencies are across the top. Okay. Now, we will be plugging in 110.9 at Cameron, 224, actually probably beforehand, but by Cameron we'll have these plugged in. We have to manually put these in. So 110.9 for the localizer. There's our approach course, 224 right there. And then this is Zalpo right here at almost 7 mile DME. We need to be at 1,800 feet and on the glide slope. Okay, next to that is our decision altitude and height. The difference here is this value is MSL, or the value above sea level. Not above river level, not above lake level, sea level, meaning the oceans. The oceans are not 10,000 feet. They're down the oceans. Okay, 200 feet under parentheses is AGL, above ground level, meaning that is actually above the ground you're there. So now in this case, they're pretty close together. Get out to like El Alto, the airport itself is 13,000 feet MSL. So this number will be above that. And then this number could still be 200 because it's what's actually above the physical ground below it. Another way to look at this, your altimeter reads this, radar altimeter reads this. Just some ways to look at that. By the way, they're both the same altitude. You're either reading it off your radar altimeter or reading it off your barometric altimeter, but you're still 200 feet, in this case, above the ground. Your missed approach, pretty simple, out to Chant, and we'll hold 3,000 feet. Okay, some things to have on board to fly this, and simultaneous approaches are authorized, so you could have operations on both runways plus takeoffs on the other, as we saw in the okay, now your visual glide slope on your PAPIs could, when you look up from your ILS, could have you low or high, could be different is what that's saying. So be ready to adjust to your visual to make that nice aiming point land. Okay, here's the path we're taking. Norton, and what it's saying here, besides not to scale, you won't see the little triangle right here coming up through here until it gets into this area. Then it'll be tracking what you see. Way around that, I'll show you. Well, it still won't show it this way, but you'll see what I mean. Norton Saljay, got it. That guy. Haupt. And everything's looking right. Let's kind of, okay, so where we got to get concerned is Rossley at 3, Zalpo at 1800. Okay, so Lefner is where we do the turn for the intercept to grab the localizer. And we grab it 12 miles out at Rossley. 3,000 and above is fine with me. Actually, no, of course it's not. Let's go 210. Diagonal 3,000. Okay. Why I did this? That way, your 5.2 miles here to go from 3 to 1800. It's a good chance you're going to hit the glide path and come down anyway, but you're at least able to get down, level off before the 1800 and come down the glide path and get her slowed up. 170 is a good speed. Definitely not going to be doing 190 at JFK. Alright, so Rossley, Zalpo, and we're going to be slowing to approach speed at Zalpo, which we don't know yet. We'll get that in a minute. Because, well, let's do that real quick. Because it's very critical for the bottom part. Look, our friend Top Cat is back. Okay, this time we're going to go to landing. And our estimated landing weight for this flight. I say cautiously 247,975 estimated, okay? Doesn't mean that's what it's going to actually be, but it's a good number to work with. Okay. Pretty close to that number. All right, so we'll set auto land. We'll set, say, 3. And let's update. 22 left, 8,400 feet, no slope. All right, and it should be dry. Okay, go. Approach speed is 131, 126. We'll verify when we set it up there. This is just a planning number, so 130. Okay, why did we need that number? Well, if you look here, folks, this is where this chart really comes in handy. Okay, we're not doing what we could do 140. We just got to bleed some speed off right before touchdown, which I just might do. So it's 221 from a Zalpo to the missed approach point. So what you do, folks, when you hit the glides, get on the localizer. When you cross a Zalpo, remember it's 6.8 from the localizer. Start the timer. 2 minutes, 21 seconds at 140 knot ground speed. If you don't see that runway, which today you should, you go around. Not 190, 180, 170, 0, as Flying with Mike will do sometimes. You are supposed to go around at 2 minutes, 21 seconds if you don't see that runway. Many reasons. In a simulator, it's obviously not critical. Real world, very critical. You may not actually be on the right localizer. You may actually be off by a lot. So if you don't see it, you go around. It's safe to do that. And by the way, you're only going to be 200, 300 feet in the air. There's a tree in front of you. It's a good thing to punch up and go. Okay. So all SIF 2s, Pappies on the left-hand side. There's your missed approach again. Here's your visibilities again. Our minimums for this airport are 212, 200 feet AGL. Half-mile visibility. This is a Cat 1, folks. Okay. Whole different ball game if we're in a situation where the ceilings are low, visibilities are low. Say below this, then we use that Cat 2, Cat 3 chart. Then our RVR is not got to be 18, nor do we have to worry about a half mile of visibility. Those all drop. Okay, and so does these numbers. But if we're coming in, like right today, Cat 1, no worries in the world, till I see the runway, guess what? We're perfectly fine. We don't have touchdown lights or CL. I'm not sure what those are. Clear light. Let's see. Not sure what CL lights, center line lights, are out. Now, as long as you have a flight director autopilot HUD, you're good to go to 18 still. If you don't, then you have to have an RVR higher. RVR is a little, looks like a guy flexing his muscles, kind of like a pole with arms aimed in, and it measures the distance, and that's what gets you the RVR. The technical side, I have no idea, but that's what it looks like on the field. Okay, so there's our charts. We are programmed the way I want the airplane to be. So we're good. And I will be controlling the speed probably easily from Rossley, maybe even earlier than that, all the way in. So, all right, again, we said auto brakes 3, so we'll set those. All right, so let's click legs, see how far out we are. Progress. Top of descent, 120 miles out. So we're getting in there pretty close, folks. All right, so there you go, folks. We are just starting to be ready to set this thing up. I've got traffic up here. Yeah, try looking it up. Might be a United flight or NRL flight. Is that Noble Airlines, I think? Headed to, not sure where the heck it's headed. MDCY, huh? Anyway, we got those two ahead of us. Gonna be crossing here in a minute. See if we'll be able to see them. Doubtful, but you never know. We've got a little sliver of rain. We're getting ready to come over, folks. That's about it weather-wise into the Apple. Wow, that's a lot of rain over Ohio, West Virginia, Kentucky area. Wow, that's a lot of rain headed towards the northeast. Well, we had it here yesterday and the day before, actually for about a week. So well, we may not see them. If they stay outside 10 miles, we won't see them. But there you go, folks, the arrival brief, and we'll begin getting ready to start our descent here in the next 10-15 minutes. So enjoy the music, and we'll see what's ahead of us. Be kind of curious, folks. Back with you with the work on point 06 underway. If these clouds that we're seeing will be more wispy looking, because they said they're working on cirrus and those pyramids that we see quite often. Oh, be curious, because they're pretty thick clouds unless we're in thunderstorms, which is possible. But anyway, we continue on towards New York City. New York City. All right, top of descent is showing up on the nav display, folks. First descent level will be 18,000, I think it was. Cameron. Oh, yeah, 18,000 hogs. Is that Padres? We'll start down. I'm reading. RADDS. Okay, RADDS. So RADDS will be the top of descent. DLAAY. So we'll start programming when we get the top of descent here at 40. Get it put in there. Let's go ahead and get the ref page set up. 129. What did Top Cat say again? 126. Okay. I'm good with that. $63 miles. All right, let's see here. Okay, seatbelt signs will switch here shortly. FMC page set. Ref. Oh, yeah, let's set the ILS radio. Okay, wrong one. Here, 110.9. Let me make sure. 110.9. 224. Okay, and that gets that all set up, folks. And then finally, EFIS, we're set to the charts. Frequency and heading set. Initial descent will set up here in a moment. Now you may notice I keep adjusting the heading. I try to keep it on the course we're on, folks, just in case something wacky happens and the plane all of a sudden veers left or right, up or down. I can immediately hit that hold or select button, hopefully bringing it back. Otherwise, disconnect the autopilot and take over and figure out what the heck just happened. And we're going with auto brakes to 3. And welcome in, folks. Thanks for the support of the channel. If you're new, we'd love you to hit that follow button. All it costs is letting you know with an email that we're flying live. But welcome aboard. Hope you all have a great day. Okay, let's set that altitude to Cameron, 18,000. All right, now, couple of ways to descend this. You could hit, well, the easiest is pull this up. Now we have climb, cruise, descend. If all you have is a VNAV button, click VNAV and get to your descent page using next page. From here, now in most Boeing aircraft, there'll be a forecast here. Click that line select and then you can put your transition level in. In this one, it's right here on the descent page. Make sure that's the correct one. If you're in Europe, it probably is not. So again, type out whatever it is. 0, if usually it's 7, anywhere from, I've seen them as low as 3, high as 13. Set them with your numbers, click there, and boom. What it'll do is start flashing when your altitude gets below that. I think. We don't have an altitude tab here. Let's go see if that's even available. I thought there were some things missing on my ECAS. Alright, let's see. TAS and G. There we go. Don't need that rising. Okay, we're about 20 miles out. No, autopilot, that's good. Alright. What I changed, just so you can see, is when we go to status, see, I was missing some of the information. Did not mean to do that. I was missing the brake, some of this here, this information. That's what we just made happen. All right, let's get ready to descend. Okay, top of descent now, 12 miles. So if we were to have ATC and they said descend, blah, 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 we would hit descend now. And of course set that to the proper one. Instead, we're going to set our descent here momentarily. Alright, let's go ahead and start down. So we'll just click descend now. The other way would be to double click this, VS, start our way down, then click in. Either way works, folks. Until you're into descent, there's the needle. And we'll watch to make sure hogs we make 18,000. All right, Now you see our initial here for the star. This little layer button, you click that, layers it up. So you can actually track it across the actual chart. Now, where you saw this not to scale, that's not to scale on the chart. So you're going to actually be somewhere else along it. But once you hit just past Sagel, it'll meet up here and you'll see it tracking along. Okay, now this is showing us little past hogs. See that? This arc tells you that. Now you could go in and take over with VS and set a steeper than 2,000 foot a minute drop. Because you also have an 11,000 at Carnes, 250 knots. Okay, it's starting to come closer. So we'll kind of watch that in this descent. All right, we're going to go ahead. Okay, we just crossed Sea Isle VOR on the Cameron for arrival for New York City. That's kind of funny. Just heard a thump and it was a bird hitting the front door. So far, looks like we'll make that 18,000. And looking at our descent, we're doing right where we should be, folks. What's our anticipated 2969 now? Wow. Pressure's been really dropping here, folks. Like I said, when we first started this morning down in Tampa, it was 2980. It's now 2969. I'm going to go ahead and take over speed. Continue to 11. All right, let's set that. Now you're going to see the altitude disagree. 2969. Altitude disagrees. So that means this one is different than the one on the first officer. Just click the little set screw here, clears it, and they're now set. All you got to do is set this one. Okay, and now our altimeters are set. Okay, let's proceed. Transition altitudes are set. Anti-ice. Let me double check again. 22, no rain or precip, 10 miles. So yeah, we'll keep it off. And I'm going to, okay, yeah, we're doing good on the descent. All right, folks, so we are headed into New York City, as they say on the salsa commercials. And I'll be turning off the terrain radar here in a moment, just because I don't want that clutter to confuse us coming in. If I remember, I should have just turned it off. All right, so we're going to cross Carnes just at around 11,000, and that'll allow us to slow to 250 by Carnes. Cameron, I'm sorry. I'll be right back. All right, folks, I'm back with you. The CEO and wife. She works here also in the office. She actually is working for a pretty big university. Might have heard of it, WashU. And so when she gets a call, I go silent because she's making all the money. We'd love to say we are, but, you know, we do the best we can. But anyway, out of respect, let her be able to talk to her people she's working with. All right, we are over Cameron. Guess what, folks? We are entering the ILS for runway 22. Now let me change gears, put that up here. Now JFK approach came up. Oh, okay, cool. 128, 125. Hang on. Well, maybe we'll do that. Maybe we won't. 128. 128. Is it 128, 125? JFK approach, TWA 108 heavy with you on the ILS, Norton 22 left.
TWA 108 heavy, New York approach. Good afternoon. Squawk 1027.
Always forget that. That was 1027 for TWA 148?
For 1027.
0. Okay.
TWA 108 heavy, radar contact 10 miles northeast of Cameron. Kennedy altimeter 2965. Expect vector is ILS runway 22 left. Descend and maintain 4000.
All right, TWA 108, expect vectors down to 4,000, TWA 108. All right, so going down. Yes, we are. Okay. All right, let me just make sure everything is capiche down here. Looks like it is. He said 1065 or 20. Second, we got to update. Now you see where that comes in handy, that set screw, folks.
New York approach, American 2830 with Foxtrot IFR to DCA. American 2830, New York departure. Thank you for Foxtrot. You're cleared to Washington National Airport, Kennedy 5 departure. Radar vectors wavy then as filed. Maintain 5,000. Expect flight level 220. 10 minutes after departure. Squawk 2774.
We have 80s.
American 2830 cleared to DCA via the Kennedy 5 departure. Vectors to wavy. 5,000 after departure. Expect flight level 220 10 minutes after departure and 2774 in the box. American 2830, your readback is correct. Call for taxi. Call for taxi, American 2830.
All right, I'm kind of glad I killed the music when I did, folks. All right, so 4,000. He hasn't turned us yet. That's cool.
TWA 10 heavy, fly heading 030.
Zero 030 for TWA 108 heavy, and we also have Foxtrot now.
Thank you for Foxtrot.
I'm just flying my approach, guys. I just noticed that. That 030, well, a little off, but not much. It's instead of going to dead guy, I'm going to how bet. Oh, that's funny how he's flying us. 030, got it. Let's go ahead and lower this down to 20 miles. Yeah, let's do that. That'll be a lot easier to read. And I'm going to drop off terrain. We just look to make sure. Yeah, that's good. All right, so we're set up, folks. I'm going to go ahead and slow to 240 just to keep us under the 250 cushion that some ACARS programs love to get people on. Also notice we're a little fast, so we're slowing. Let's get up here. Heck just happened? There we go. Hate when it does that.
Delta 9 for Oscar, ready for taxi. Delta 9 for Oscar, runway 22 right, taxi left on Bravo, Echo, cross runway 31 right on Echo. 2 right, via left on Bravo, Echo, cross runway 31 right at Echo, and departure also from Echo, Delta 9 for Oscar. TWA 108 Heavy, turn left heading 360, reduce speed to 210.
TWA 108 360 to what speed?
Speed 210.
Slowing to 210 360 on the heading TWA 108. Kind of close. I see what he's gonna. I kind of see where we're headed. He's gonna. We're at 4,000. Rossley is 3,000 and above. All right, now technically I'm at flap speed, folks, so I could introduce flaps 1, but we're gonna hold for now.
TWA 108 Heavy, descend and maintain 2000.
Down to 2,000, TWA 108.
TWA 108 Heavy, descend and maintain 2000.
Hate when it does that, folks. TWA 8 down to 2,000, TWA 108.
New York approach, Delta 870, fly level 220, sending cross landing 190 with Kilo, correction with Foxtrot.
Delta 870, New York approach, thank you for Foxtrot, squawk 1016.
1016, Delta 870.
Alright, why aren't you slow without full brakes?
Delta 870, radar contact, 10 miles northwest of Lundy. Depart Lundy heading 180.
Boy, we're
Hey,
showing
180,
some
Delta 870.
serious weather, folks. I don't know where it is. Well, she'll slow now.
Hey, good after JFK approach, Air Canada 207, at Alpha 18, looking to pick up IFR to Halifax.
Air Canada 207, New York departure, clearance on request, standby. WA 108 Heavy, turn left heading 280.
Left turn 280, TWA 108.
Delta 870, Kennedy altimeter 2965, descend and maintain 16,000.
16,000, Delta 870.
TWA 108 Heavy, reduce speed to 180. TWA 108 Heavy, reduce speed to 180.
TWA 108 slowing to 180, turning to 280.
And Air Canada 207, you are cleared to the Halifax International Airport. Kennedy 5 departure, radar vectors merit, then as filed. Maintain 5,000, expect flight level 390, 10 minutes after departure. Squawk 7175.
AFM cleared at the Kennedy 5 departure, then as filed, climb 5,000, expect 390, 10 minutes after departure, squawk 7175 for Air Canada 207.
Canada 207, readback is correct. Call for taxi.
From the call for taxi, Air Canada 207, thank you.
Getting clear.
And for Delta 9 for Oscar, can you confirm that it's a radar vectors of a runway heading and then radar vectors?
Delta 9 for Oscar, affirm. It's runway heading and then vectors.
Okay, thanks.
DLAAY 108 heavy, 7 miles from Zalpo. Turn left heading 250, maintain 2000 until established on the localizer. Cleared ILS runway 22 left approach.
Turning 250, cleared for the approach, 22 left, TWA 108.
Delta 9 for Oscar approaching, Echo ready for departure.
Delta 904 Oscar, fly runway heading, wind 18010, runway 22 right, clear for takeoff.
To right, cleared for takeoff and will fly runway heading, Delta 9 for Oscar.
Delta 870, descend and maintain 13,000.
3000 Delta 870.
I think that's Republic right in front of us, folks. It's set right up. Okay, we're green on the localizer. She'll be turning here in a few seconds. Go. As soon as we're established, we're going to slow to what's that? 135. Well, we'll go 137.
TWA 108 heavy, wind 18010, runway 22 left, clear to land.
Clear to land, runway 22 left, fully established, TWA 108. Gear down. Flaps 20. Let's just do 140. Got the runway in sight.
Delta 94 Oscar, radar contact, say altitude.
And there's the city off to the right.
Currently Delta 9 for Oscar.
Delta 94 Oscar, turn left heading 050, climb and maintain 17,000.
050 degrees and climb 17,000, Delta 9 for Oscar.
All right, we are currently Salvo, so we're 7 mile final, flaps full, speed set, planes mine. And missed approach set.
Delta 90, correction, Delta 94 Oscar, proceed direct neon.
Direct
Flaps
neon,
full,
9 for Oscar.
gear 3 green, brakes 3, spoilers armed.
Delta 870, turn left heading 140, descend and maintain 4,000.
140, 4,000, Delta 870.
Stable landing.
Delta 904 Oscar, leaving my airspace. New York Center is closed. Radar service is terminated. Frequency change approved. Have a good flight.
For Unicorn, thanks for your service. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Minimums. $100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
All right, folks, welcome into JFK. Switching charts. Gonna come off here at Juliet, I think it is, yeah. And approach TWA 108 off 22 left at Juliet.
TWA 108 Heavy, welcome to New York. Where are you parking today?
Yeah, we're off at Juliet, going to Terminal 5 for TWA 108.
Roger, TWA 108 Heavy, taxi to the ramp, Juliet, let's see, Juliet, right on Bravo Foxtrot, cross runway 22 right on Juliet.
Crossed 22 right on Juliet, then Juliet Bravo Fox. I think I got it right. I got to clean up an airplane, so.
Delta 870, turn left heading 040.
040, Delta 870.
All right, spoilers up.
And New York departure, Air Canada 207, ready for taxi.
Air Canada 207, runway 22 right, taxi Delta Alpha, right on Bravo, left on Echo, cross runway 31 right on Echo.
Bravo's first.
Affirm taxi via Delta Alpha, right on Bravo, left on Echo, and cross tree 1 right via Echo. And what runway can we expect for Air Canada 207?
At 207, it'll be runway 22 right.
Okay, runway 22 right for Air Canada 207.
And approach TWA 108's clear of 22 right.
TWA 108, roger, thank you.
All right, flight director's off. And we'll switch into the, that's weird, it wants me to go to the gen right now. All right, let's find Terminal 5. Folks, if you're not familiar, that's where TWA used to park here. Now
New
gently,
York departure.
but the
07,
historical terminal
we also have
is still there. Unlike
207,
Pan
roger,
Am's
thank you for
historical
Foxtrot.
worldport, which is not, but they did salvage and kept the old TWA
New York departure, American 2830, ready for taxi.
American 2830, runway 22 right, taxi right on Alpha, Delta, Charlie, Echo, cross runway 31 right on Delta. American 2830, heading to runway 22 right via Alpha, Delta, Charlie, Echo, crossing 31 right on Delta. Delta 870, turn left heading 360, reduce speed to 210.
360 210 Delta 70.
All right, let's see here. What gate do we want, folks? All right, we are in the gate. Okay, real quick, let's get up here, put one off. APU on, lead on. Okay, cabin lights full. All right, APU, go ahead and shut them down.
Delta 870, descend and maintain 2000.
2000 Delta 870.
All right, shutting down. Okay, I think we're good, folks. Let's get the jetway to us. And welcome to JFK. Let's clear off here.
And New York departure, camp 207, short of 22 right, break for takeoff.
Air Canada 207, fly runway heading, wind 18010, runway 22 right, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff 22 right, and fly runway heading for Air Can 207, thank you.
And approach TWA 108. And approach TWA 108 heavies in the gate, spot 10, terminal 5. Thanks for the ATC. Have a great day.
Good afternoon.
I say good day. There we go. Off. Here we go, and cautionary can be killed. All right, let's take a look at this flight metrically, and then hopefully I'll remember to disconnect and take a look at the approach again. Okay, what we use here is Sim Toolkit. Boy, everything around New York is up but New York Center. Wow. All right, flight summary. Let's first get this up over here. Some toolkit. There you are. All right, so first we got to finish the flight, so that way it gets in our logbook. Once it's there, look for the flight details. Now, already liking what I'm seeing. Although I think we were a little fast. That might be the float. All right. Real quick aviation training here, folks. This white line back here is the threshold. The blue dot marks it. From there down the runway is where we're supposed to land in the real world, not in the EMAS. If you land in there, you're going to sink in real quick. That's why we don't land there. And that is EMAS, folks. What that is, it's a enhanced stopping measure in case you overshoot the runway so you don't end up in the water and on into here. Right. Every one of these hash marks, folks, for about 3,000 feet down the runway is the landing, quote, quote, zone, landing area. That's where we try to put them down. See, they've landed. Well, now we're getting into the other end, but you can see even in here. So us landing long is not. The majority of the aircraft seem to touch down right here. However, we're aiming for these big white bars. You'll see them. They're very easy to pick up in the sky. And that's where you're visually trying to touch down. Pappies are somewhere. They should have been over here somewhere to get you visually lined up for there. ILS is somewhere here too. I can't tell. I think that's your ILS antenna there. So, but again, hard to tell. All right, now we touched down here, which is almost 2,100 feet down the runway. That's fine on a 8,000 foot runway. We got 7,000 easily to get stopped. We did, and we were 7 feet on the left side. We kind of, shimmied around trying to get it there. So, all right, so that looks really good number-wise, folks. 1.2 on the G's, heading, dead on. So 154 feet a minute. Who's going to complain? Yeah, I know somebody will. All right, and it's successfully filed there. Let me just see what we actually did. And Pan Am Virtual recorded us at 183 feet a minute. I'll take that, folks. And they scored us 100 on that flight. How? That's so nice. Thank you, sir. All right, and shows us there. Okay. Again, folks, I hope you enjoyed. Now, let's... it's in the general. Hey, Bad Attitude, welcome in. I see you in the Discord and probably hanging out somewhere in chat here. Clearing up some stuff. All right, let me come off low first. Let me check. I did this once and somebody was actually following us close final and what's that? I don't think I know that person. Okay. Oh no, they didn't tell me. Yeah, that's... All right, so I'm going to come off VATSIM. Going to pull the jet bridge away. Let's see if we can relive that landing, shall we? 7 second, clearing off as much as I can here. Actually, we're disconnected. I'll go ahead and get rid of that. And that. I'm trying to get as much stuff here that could bog the system down. Give us a fighting chance. All right, let's do it. Let's go to flight. Toggle replay and ooh, so far, possibly. Uh-oh. Oh, I got a feeling we're not going to be able to. Oh, we did. Here we go. We'll just take it from here. I don't even know where we are. Oh, yeah, we're lined up. Okay. All right, folks. So, let me get some appropriate music. Hawker kind of liked this one, so we'll play it. All right. I thought we were lined up for the airport. Dang it. There we are. All right. One thing you'll find different than other flight sim is this sim has this replay in it versus others you have to download a product, put it on. It's from what I heard, free, but start it. It's a real complicated process. Here with XP12, you just got to cross your fingers and hope it works in beta. But it comes with the sim. So, but anyway, here we go, folks. Let's see what we can learn from this lovely tool. Here's where you're aiming. See how big and bright those are? That wasn't a bad landing, and it showed. Not bad. Wow, great shots there, folks. Let's go back out again. See what the people here looked at. nice landing. We're going to do one more replay, folks, and then call it a day. And I hope you all have enjoyed. Perfect. Let's see what it looked like from the tower. Alright, I could have flared a lot more, but anyway, folks, what a fun day flying from Tampa up here to the Big Apple, JFK, with world-renowned TWA Airlines. Shame they're no longer around, but neither is Pan Am. But you know, it's still fun to fly from. Folks, I live here where they were headquartered, so I do miss them. I used to love going up to Lambert, watching them fly. It is what it is in the airline world. So, well, folks, I hope you enjoyed today. I hope it's been I've been able to put a nugget or two to help you with your flights, and look forward to seeing you hopefully on Thursday with our next flight. So, for now, folks, I hope you all have a great day. God bless, and we'll see you Thursday.